Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So this is part 3 of my pad smash for the Paper Boutique Christmas Cuties, and this is the last little patchwork that we're going to be doing. So for this one I've got another A4 sheet of just plain white paper, and because I didn't have any more of the self-adhesive sheets, I've literally just covered this whole piece in double-sided tape, and I'm just peeling back a little bit at a time, just because I am sort of resting my hand on it. My jumper is quite woolly, so it would get stuck in it, so I tried to leave as much on as possible. And I've taken some of my scraps, and this time we're adding in some of the coloured card here as well as the patterned paper, and I've cut these because a lot of them were in 1-inch strips. I've cut them either into a 1-inch square or a 1 by 2-inch rectangle, and I'm kind of working on this little block pattern. So you can see the green square, that's where I started, and I've got then the 4 2-inch blocks going all the way around that. That's kind of what I'm following here. So I'm going to have the square in the middle and then the 4 blocks surrounding it. So that's the way that I'm going. So I have sort of recently got into sewing again, as I have said, and I've been looking at sort of like quilting patterns, patchwork and things. So that's really where this one sort of came from. So I cut up a bunch of them all in one go, and I think I do cut just a couple more. I think it was mainly the coloured card that I needed some more of, just because I was sort of like running out as I sort of got to the end of this. So for this I am, oh gosh, I can't remember what I make in the end. I think I did some more DL cards in this, and then actually I think I used some more scraps at the end to make some more 6x6 cards. I think that's what I did. So I got 2 more sets of cards to show you. And yeah, so I just carried on with this pattern. I'm trying to have them a little bit far away from each other, having them horizontal and vertical, and it really did help with this design having that coloured card in here as well. I did have a bunch of coloured card left over, so yeah, it did really come in handy to be able to include that, because I didn't have the coloured card in the last 2 sets that I did. But I really love how this came out. Again, some of the cutting was a little dodgy, I would say, so they didn't all line up perfectly. I had a few gaps, but I really did try to have it be as sort of close as I could. So you can see that piece I put down there. I've got a small white gap between that blue piece and the piece just above it, but again, I'm not too worried about that. The same as the last ones, I'm going to cut these up into 3 panels to go on the DL cards again, and I just think it really works nicely with this type of thing, because you are getting that nice big panel of it, and it means that we can make more cards. So obviously if I did the 6x6, I may have just been able to get 2 card bases out of this, but by being able to do the DL size, it means I got 3 of the panels, and it gave you a nice variety then of the bits and pieces. So I am just continuing my way through this. I really enjoyed this. Again, I have been sort of looking at patchwork and quilting and things, and that is sort of on my mind. That's where this one came from. But yeah, it was really nice. You can see I'm just cutting up 2 here, so a little bit more that lighter red and that blue here again. So these were, I think, 3 inches, so I cut it into a 1-inch and a 2-inch strip, and then just cut them down to the 1-inch here. And I said this in my last video, but I do think that this sort of Christmas patchwork, it just feels extra Christmassy to me. I don't know what it is about it, but just this mix and having it be like this, I just think it's really, really nice. So this wasn't exactly square to the actual piece of paper, so what I'm going to do is just square this off. So if you might not be that bothered, to be honest with you, but yeah, I just sort of tried to, so I cut this first bit and then sort of realized then that it was kind of off center a little bit. I'd sort of gone askew, and then I just tried to line up, you'll see here in a second when I turn it over, so I did sort of trim that down, and then thought, right, I need to kind of line this up a little bit. What was the easiest way of doing it? So I just picked a point on my paper trimmer, forgot the word there, on the paper trimmer, I managed to square that up then and used that to trim off around. So we didn't take loads off it. We still got our DL 8-inch height on there that we needed, but yeah, it just meant then that our pattern is going to be nice and square. Basically, it's not going to be sort of wonky to one side or anything. So these cards are going to be pretty much finished the same as the last sort of patchwork ones were. Let me know which one was your favorite. I think the herringbone style one I think might have been my favorite, but yeah, this does really, to me, scream absolutely Christmas. So I did the same thing here again and just added the sentiments using the foam. I backed them as well, and again used then those bigger sentiments on here. So you can see the 3 different patterns, there we go, of the patchwork. Let me know which one's your favourite. Did you prefer adding the coloured cards? You had like the block colour in here. Did you prefer all being patterned paper? And let me know if you're going to try this at home as well. I just really love how this came out. So this is basically everything that I have got left. You can see I've still got quite a bit, and I do still end up with quite a bit on here as well, and I'm just trying to kind of, to be honest, work out what it is that I want to do. But I make a bunch more 6x6 inch cards here, and I'm going to do this. I'll be honest, these ones probably came out a little wonky. If I was to do this again, I would probably line it up before putting it on the card base, maybe put a little washi tape down the center and then glue it to my card base, because some of them, yeah, were not the best. But this was my design basically. So I'm just making sure that I got my measurements right. So I've got this piece in the middle, which I believe was 2.5 inches. And then I've got the plain coloured card, each side of it. And I'm trying to think what that came to. Maybe that was like an inch and a quarter. I can't honestly remember. And then they were all then cut down to 5.5 inches then to fit on that card base like I had in the first video, which isn't quite 6 inches square. I think it was sort of between, I think it was just over 5 3/4. So I had a nice white border around it, but again, if I was to do it differently, just to make sure that everything lined up nicely when it got down onto the card, I would, yeah, sort of put it together off the cards, maybe washi tape it together or sellotape it together, whatever, and then glue it onto my card base. So I'm just using up a bunch of strips. So I do make, I think it was 11 cards in this, so I made sure to cut then, so I needed 22 pieces of the coloured card and then 11 of the patterned paper. And I'm basically just going to pick up a piece of patterned paper and then decide what colours I want to go with it. So each of the strips were a different colour, I didn't do them the same, but just by sort of taking a moment to think of the design, which ones we wanted to go with which, just means that I ended up with a nicer result, I think, because I didn't end up with like this blue background with then just like blue paper basically. Same with this striped one, I didn't put the reds with it because I wanted it to stand out. And then some of these are horizontal and so they're cut differently. So with those two, I think I made 2 top folding cards. They were, I say landscape, but they weren't because they're square cards, but they were just top folding cards. So they went across. So we can see this is where I'm saying then I would have maybe put them together off camera just because I think, yeah, some of them look a little dodgy, to be honest. But again, just another design using up the scraps again, using what I've got. I didn't really have to do sort of too much digging around here. Like I said, I've got quite a lot left over as well. So we can definitely make some more. And we do have some full 8x8 sheets of the, I think it's the black colour and like the darker blue colour I didn't end up using, but we could use those on another project or another set of cards as well. So again, really what these videos are designed to do is just to show you sort of different layouts. If you've got, you know, it doesn't matter whether you've got a full kit or not, if it's just some patterned paper you've got, it's just showing you the different card layouts that you can follow. So yes, I'm making a bunch of the same cards that don't look the same because they're using different patterned papers and different sort of combinations and things, different sentiments, but it's really just to give you an idea of the different kinds of layouts that you can use if you've got, you know, again, even just the basics of a patterned paper pad maybe. But let me know what you think. I quite like having the 2 different coloured strips either side. I think it looks quite nice. Again, it's something a little bit different. Let me know, and then if you like this version where it's down and then I've got the 2 right at the end which go horizontal across the page. I then, in the aid of trying to help me line up these better in the centre, I was trying to use my grid map then, and yeah, it didn't necessarily work here. But then for these, I do add some toppers to it. So it kind of takes the focus off really. Like if they are a little bit off, it does take the focus off. So this is one of the horizontal ones. I'm still gluing it the same way, but Yeah, see, that one's really close to that left-hand side. So we've got a bigger white border at the bottom there. And this is the same again, is this horizontal. Do you prefer this way? You could even do it where you made them a bit smaller and you had the gaps in between so they didn't meet. That's also an option there as well. So yeah, I'm using the toppers and so you can kind of see what I've got left really out of these. So I picked out the ones that had the sentiment again, and I think I did have maybe 3 or 4 without the sentiment, but I don't think I added a sentiment to the front because I have sentiments all on the insides of all these cards. So I went back through and added them to all of the DL size cards there as well. So I'm just adding all of the foam. I said this in the previous videos. This is the Chloe's Creative cards. These are the 2mm foams. I just prefer them. I think the 2mm is definitely what I prefer over the 3mm, and this comes in a really sort of little cool pizza box, and yeah, it means that I can keep it all in there nice and tidy and just sort of pull out what I need. So you can see adding the toppers onto this, and I think it does help sort of pull that focus a little bit. Means then you have the topper is your main element, but you still have the colours behind, and you do have that little bit of patterned paper there as well. I wasn't as picky about what topper I added to which card here in terms of the colour that the topper was matte and layered onto versus the colours then that's on the background of the card. I just kind of went for it. But again, apart from the dodgy cut sticking on some of these, I did really enjoy how these ones did come out. So these ones finished, and again off camera I do then add the Nuvo drops to these as well, just to make them, again, they needed a little something. I did one in each corner, and yeah, I think it did make it look just a little bit nicer. So you saw then what I've got left, and I've also got all of the sentiments as well. I'm just going to keep these in a bag all together and we can come back and revisit them. But just to show you all of the cards together, what we created here. So we have the ones that we started with in video number 1. And yeah, I think they just make a really nice collection together. I think they're super cute. The animals are super cute. I like that some of these have the sentiments on the toppers as well, so you didn't have to worry about adding them. And you can see the Nuvo drops there just in that top left hand corner. I don't think you see, no, you don't see the Nuvo drops on the other ones, but again, the ones we made in this video, I added them 1 drop to each corner, and I just used the gold for that. But I'm super happy with how all of these come out. You know, it doesn't matter that they're similar to each other. You're not necessarily going to be sending the same card, you know, like 2 cards to one household. So, you know, having a big batch of cards like this is absolutely perfect for your stash. And yeah, you can be sending them out. And I absolutely love these DL patchwork ones as well. I think these are my favourite. So that's it for this pad smash. I'm super happy with what we've created. And I know I've created stuff before now, so I know I've gotten quite a bit out of this. So, you know, if I don't use any more of this stuff, to me that's okay, but you know, maybe I might come back to it and try again. But I think I've gotten quite a lot out of this pad, and yeah, that makes me really happy just to know that we've used it and it's not just stuck in the cupboard somewhere just gathering dust. So that's going to be it for this pad smash. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. You'll be notified when I upload a video next. I'm not sure what that's going to be honest with you, but yeah, I'm really excited to get on my little crafty journey. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching and happy crafting.